Hey there everybody! As you guys know, I moved recently and welcome to my new collection room. It's very echoey in here. So anyway, we have our army of Skylanders along this little wooden beam here. We've got my video games right there. We have more Skylanders, just some random FNAF stuff, our custom fodder, and then we have all of our FNAF plush over here in this one corner. But something that we haven't talked about yet, and probably have never talked about on the channel, are the FNAF statues, and how to clean them. So why don't we? Five Nights at Freddy's statues that were created by Funko look straight up and out of the game, but one thing is that whenever they've been sitting for a nice while, they start to get a nice layer of dust on them, and that can make your statue, especially if it has white clothing or a white suit, can make them start to yellow, and it makes them less resistant to the sun, and it just doesn't look as good because I hate dust. Heaven forbid if you have any Lego. Had to reference I hate everything there. But you can see here that on Vanny even, she just has like little bits of dust here and there, especially on all the different like crevices of her suit. And unfortunately, you can see this heavily on the base, and that's something that we really don't want. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to get our materials. Thing you're going to need is a soft cloth, and then make sure that you get it just a little bit wet, not too wet, because water and moisture can actually make plastic discolor in the sun, so you don't want to do that, especially if you're going to put this thing back on display where it might be revealed to some sun. So you're going to want to take your slightly damp cloth and obviously just wipe the thing down. Some people would just say submerge it in water and that's good enough. And I would say to them, your statue is going to be like a golden bronze color, especially if you are one of these people that really like to display it, because it actually breaks the plastic in the statue down through the different little bits and pieces there, and can go off and make your statue discolor and turn that slightly ugly color. I'm not going to lie. And whatever you do, don't use any cleaning agents on these guys, because it can also go off and affect the color of the plastic. And unless you want a Spring Bonnie looking Vanny statue, then it's not a good idea. Look at some of that dust right there. You can definitely see where we've been scrubbing at. But the only problem is with all the little fine pieces here, it's hard to kind of get in between them. So what you're going to want to do is go off and get your cloth and get a nice little straight portion of it and just run it along the base of the darn thing. Vanny's poor feet. Oh my gosh. All right, so now that all of you weirdos have stopped staring at Vanny's feet, we can move on to the flower pot, which is now getting its little base cleaned here. And for all of those of you that want to clean Vanny's base, I say you're rather odd. Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. I have to conform to what my audience wants, and my audience seems to be a tad strange and likes it when I say weird things. All right, Vanessa. So with Vanessa, you really got to go off and make sure, because she's got like different layers of her clothing and hair and such. So she's a bit of a hard one to clean, but just make sure that you do. Because otherwise she as well, especially since she has a whiter costume, she can go off and be damaged by the sun a heck of a lot easier than Vanny can, because Vanny's somewhat of an off-white color. Sorry guys, my voice is failing me today, just like it has been kind of all week. So just cover up and have at it, especially get up under her different layers of like her hat and her hair. You never know. See, look at her now. She looks a heck of a lot better, and she's got a little bit of a shine to her. Yeah, Vanessa has freckles. I'm not gonna lie. I better stop talking now. We've polished Vanessa's boots over here. You got to make sure that you get up underneath her hair piece cleaned, which is easier said than done since it's such a small little piece there. Thankfully, it does collect most of the dust, like right here up on this leaf and such. So it's not as hard to really go off and get to it as you would think. You just really got to go off and make sure that you get these parts, because dust does collect where things are flat. And you'd be surprised how many times you can find a piece of dust on a piece that is like sideways. It's rather odd. Like Vanny's back up here, you can see tons of dust just sitting up there. Make sure that you clean the tops of like Vanessa's like little creases here. Her flashlight had a ton of dust up around her hand part. I'm not sure why, it just gets there. Of course, I used to live in like on a dirt road, so people would kick up dust all the flipping time. But you know, you'd just be shocked by the amount of dust that can get on things over the course of a few years. Um, I think I've had the statue for like 2 years now. It was actually gifted to me by one of my friends, so shout out to them. Same friend that gifted me a chocolate Bonnie plushie. They're pretty pog. Definitely one of my best friends. All right, wiping down that part of the plant. All right, looks like Vanessa's back is good to go. She has new shiny boots. Check that out. Her jacket looks pretty good, if you ask me. The top of her hat does need dusted a tad, so we're going to go ahead and jump on that. The little bill of her hat is a tad dusty. Vanny needs some TLC. Certainly, her back needs some care. These leaves up here also need some care. We got Vanessa's face. So Vanessa's pretty well done. She looks pretty good and basically new out of box. All right, now for Vanny. So I have scrubbed on Vanny's face now. So now we got to get her back, her waist, and down her leg on the other side and on the inside. We can get this leaf right here out of the way, but I'm not sure how. But then we also need to get the base of the plant, this little pot here. Just go off and stick the washcloth in there and move it around as best as you can. That's kind of all you really can do. Make sure you go off and wipe the undersides. And now for Vanny's waist, we're just going to kind of put our hand like right around her waist and just move it all around and polish her up. And up here, we just go off and wrap our hand around her and go off and get her shoulders and stuff, make sure the back of her head's clear, and then up to her ears. Looks pretty good if you ask me. So that is how I would go about cleaning our statues, especially since I don't think anyone else has put out a cleaning guide. I know this one hasn't been the greatest, since I basically just took a washcloth and put it around, but you'll be amazed at just how basic maintenance can make your statues look so much better. I'm so glad I do not have to look at it and see a layer of dust on it anymore. But just keep an eye on your stuff, guys, especially these, since their retail value was like $60, but now they're running for like $500. So just take care of your things, guys. If you guys found this helpful, let me know down in the comments below. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out and bye.